Hey, that's good. There you go, bud. The treat. This is another interesting guitar because this has got a story behind it that started in, I think, about 1991. Yamaha Guitars contacted me and I had an idea for a guitar, so they said, well, you design one. So this was the very first guitar that I designed, and this was the very first prototype. So it was made in 1991 in Hamamatsu, Japan, by a gentleman called Jaki Minakuchi, and this was really the idea that I had. It's got tiger maple top. An interesting thing that I put on this was I got them to put a piezo on there that was in stereo. So what I used to do with this was I could either have the top three left, bottom three right, or I could have them kind of mixed up, left, right, left, right, left, right. So then when I mixed that just very, very slightly, it was nearly all magnetic pickup, but when I mixed the two together, it just made the sound bigger. So when I got this guitar, the very first recording I did with this was a solo album called Artistry. And there's a picture of me on the front with as quite a young man with long hair. This launched me into a real solo career as being a solo guitar player. This was the prototype. This was prototype number 1, but then there's actually prototype number 2, which I'll show you. This is the Yamaha jazz guitar prototype, and after the first prototype, they decided, I made a few suggestions, they decided to make me another one. What we were trying to do was, there was going to be the Yamaha Martin Taylor signature guitar. That was the idea. So I think one of these days I'm going to get a few things done to it. I'm not very happy with the neck, but I think I could rescue it and make a very nice guitar out of it one day. After the two prototype Yamahas, the one I played on Artistry and then the dark-bodied one, I got back to them again, and they made another guitar for me, and it became the Yamaha AEX 1500. This is an AEX 1500, believe it or not, but the thing about it is I actually had a lot of work done. I had it completely customized just a few years ago by a friend of mine called Mark Bailey. And he did all kinds of things, and we took all the hardware off, everything. So it's just basically we just had the body, the neck, and the fretboard, where we had a lot of the electronics in there, and there was all this stuff. I said, because he's based in Scotland, I said, just put some Celtic knots in there. So he had a lot of fun doing all this Celtic stuff. But I used this guitar a lot for many, many years, and in fact there's a photograph with Chet Atkins playing this very guitar before it was modified. We were playing in Nashville together, Chet and I, and a lot of people were coming up after and asking us to sign their guitars. And in the dressing room, when everyone had left, I said to Chet, hey, Chet, would you sign my guitar? But I just kind of said it as off-the-cuff thing. So I went out. When I came back, he'd signed it for me, and at first I thought, oh no. But then I thought, wow, this is Chet, and he's got a beautiful thing on there. He wrote, Martin, you're the best, Chet Atkins, CGP. Makes the guitar pretty well priceless. I also played this just before Chet signed it. I went on a TV show in Nashville called Music City Tonight on TNN, and I played I Got Rhythm on this guitar. I remember just before I went on stage, so I said, Chet, what shall I play? It was a huge audience. He said, just play something fast. So that's exactly what I did. I played I Got Rhythm at a breakneck speed. So this guitar has very, very fond memories. I call this guitar Artistry Number 1. It was built by Mike Vanden in Strunty, Scotland in 1999. We designed this guitar together, where we put a lot of effort into this. I just signed with Sony Records and I was about to make my first album for Sony Columbia called Kiss and Tell. And I wanted a guitar for that. So this was the guitar and he got it ready for me just in time. It looks different to the guitars that are on the album covers because the top was the same color as that actually, but we found that the top was too thin. So Mike actually put another top on there, and he put this one. He made this one Sunburst. It's a wonderful, wonderful guitar. It's got so much punch. There's really so much punch to it. I used this on a few albums too. I played it on an album I did called Fraternity. But then Mike wanted to build me another guitar. He had some other ideas. He thought that he could improve on it. I think because Mike Vanden, he makes brilliant mandolins. He makes F-style mandolins. A lot of the knowledge and skill that he has with mandolins, he's brought to these guitars. And one of the things I like about this guitar, it's got that same kind of woody middle to it when you play it acoustically that you would get on an F-style mandolin, on a Lloyd Law. I really love this guitar. This is the guitar that very often, if I just come in here, this is the one that I pick up, or if I'm gonna record something. I do sometimes tour with it, but only if I can buy a seat and take it in the plane with me. This doesn't, like a lot of these guitars, they don't go in flight cases because they're irreplaceable. So the only way I travel with this, which I do from time to time, is if I've got a seat as well, and it's right next to me. Well, over the years I've designed quite a few guitars. First of all with Yamaha, and then with Mike Vanden, and more recently with Peerless. I have my own range of instruments. This is the guitar that actually I tour with most of the time. Again, I designed this, a small 15-inch body guitar. This is called the Maestro, the Martin Taylor Maestro, and it has a floating pickup on there. And yeah, this is my main touring guitar at the moment, and this is a really nice instrument to play. It's quite a solid, kind of strong guitar to take on tour as well. It's very difficult, very hard on a guitar when you're touring. You know, if you're putting guitar in flight cases and you're then going to different climates, you've got different humidity. Some guitars don't stand up to it very well, but these guitars are very tough. The acoustic sound is actually very, very good. That's the Maestro. This one here, this is the Virtuoso. Basically the same guitar, except you haven't got ebony, you've got rosewood here, and there's finger markings on this, and it's also a pressed top. It's not a carved top. So that's the other one that I use. I use this quite often as well. I sometimes tour with this, and I use it a lot when I'm teaching. One of the reasons for that is because it's one of the few guitars I've got that's actually got finger markings on it. So if I'm actually showing a guitar player something, they can actually see where my fingers are. Everything's marked. So they're the two jazz guitars that I've designed. I've got into another area here. I love this guitar. We call this the Concerto. This has an amazing sound. This is actually a prototype. This is the second one they've sent me. The first one was really good. This one is just quite amazing. I love this guitar. Being involved in the actual process of designing guitars and working with guitar builders too, because it's important that we have to work together. I've learned a lot from working with guitar builders and about how all of this is done. For so many years I didn't know anything about guitars at all. But over the years I've kind of learnt a lot of the stuff that we should, as guitar players, all know. And I have the utmost respect for guitar builders that make these wonderful instruments. I thought it would be really nice to give you the opportunity to come and play these guitars in my studio. So if you go to this link and just leave your email address, and there will be a grand draw, and the winner will win a day here playing and recording on any and all of the instruments that are in this room. I'll be here, and my assistant Adam will be here. He'll be working the controls. If you want to record something, I'll be next door. I'll make you a cup of tea and the sandwiches, and I'll let you just free. The winner will just be let loose in this room to play any of these guitars and to record them. So just leave your email address here, and there'll be a draw very soon.